Last time on Dragon Ball Z, with much convincing from Piccolo, Raditz, and Super Kami Guru, Nail decides to fuse with Piccolo, making Piccolo even stronger. Not long after this, our fighters sense two strong power levels coming their way. As they leave the sanctum of Super Kami Guru's house, they are met by King Cold and Cooler, alongside a squadron of his men. As the fight rages on, Piccolo is clearly overpowering Cooler, and King Cold is having a hard time keeping up, so they both decide to drop the charade and transform. Even with this transformation, Cooler was still no match for our fighters. Lardy Joe makes a grave mistake and freezes Cooler, not knowing that this makes his race even stronger. After being informed by Raditz, Lardy Joe unfreezes Cooler, but not without giving him some of his stamina back. But King Cold, on the other hand, was giving up one hell of a fight. Cooler, enraged by being overpowered by our fighters, flies up into the air and sends a supernova to the core of the planet, causing the entire planet to start to erupt. There's not much time until the planet explodes. Chex heads out to find Dende and Vegeta to gather the rest of the Dragon Balls. Meanwhile, on planet Yardrat, Koma has finally tapped into the instant transmission power. Going into his Super Saiyan 2 form, he is able to pinpoint the location of planet Namek, and Koma and Zuki transport to Namek. As Koma and Zuki arrive on Namek, Koma and Piccolo quickly team up, and Koma fires a collapsing star cannon, sending Cooler into the nearest sun of the planet. And at this point, King Cold decides to transform into his final form. After transforming, King Cold runs directly up to Nappa and rips his arm off. This enrages Raditz. He screams out for his father figure. This enrages him so bad, he ascends to the Super Saiyan 2 form. But even the whole team wasn't enough to fight King Cold in his final form. Minus a few lucky shots by Lardy Joe in his Kaioken form, no one was even able to land a blow. As the fight continues, Raditz tells King Cold the truth about Frieza's death. Cold, enraged by this, goes to try to finish off Raditz, but surprisingly, Raditz is still standing. Just then, Dende was able to summon the Dragon Purunga. Working with King Kai, they first wished everyone off of Namek, excluding 3 fighters who wanted to stay on the planet and see it to the end: Raditz, Zuki, and Koma. Secondly, everyone who was killed by the androids in Cell were to be brought back to life. And lastly, to bring back everyone that was killed by King Cold and his army. Koma, Zuki, and Raditz fight King Cold to the end. When the king tries to flee, Zuki and Raditz desperately try to cling on, but to no avail. King Cold shrugs them off, and just then, out of nowhere, Koma comes from behind and puts him in a full Nelson. He rides out the rest of the time until the planet explodes. King Cold, Koma, Zuki, and Raditz all die on the explosion of Namek. With this, Dende becomes the new Guardian of Earth and makes a set of Dragon Balls, but they won't be ready to use for another year. The Namekian Dragon Balls were transported with Super Kami Guru, as everyone was transported to Earth by the Dragon Balls. At last, our fighters can enjoy peace as they wait 6 months until they can use the Namek Dragon Balls to bring back Koma, Zuki, and Raditz, alongside making a new planet Namek for the Namekians and sending them back home. Find out what happens this time on Dragon Ball Z.